Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite new podcast entitled We Hate You in an Accent. You know what, man? This was episode 20. This is episode 27. And it's still funny to me to this day. You made it back again. We're here live at the Federal Brand Studios here in Houston, Texas. Houston's premier podcast studio. And this is We Hate You Internet. It's a show designed to bring awareness to some of the negative effects of the internet on our lives, or problematic effects. We changed that on our lives, as well as celebrate the beautiful simplicity of our humanity. I'm your host, Wilford Hamilton. I know you may not recognize me. If you didn't see the last episode, you know it's this episode. My hair is a little bit different. I got the Superman curl in the front, you know, but the brother man version, because you know what I'm saying. And sitting alongside me, you know her. You know what I'm saying? She's banged up once again, rocking the raspberry glasses. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Bringing flavor into all of our lives. Her name is
Clara Aguirre.
Clara Aguirre.
See, I love the intro you give me. You always give a good one.
Hey man, I practice. You know, moving forward, we want to start trying to grow our platform. So we want to always encourage those who are listening, who are watching, to please interact. So first thing we want to ask you to do is make sure that you subscribe. Hit the button down at the middle if you're watching. Hit the like button. Go ahead and do that. It's important. Also, leave a comment. It helps to push our content further in the algorithm. And we have some very valuable information that we want to share to the world. And so we want to ask that each and every one of you help us do that by supporting. Also, if you're listening, make sure you go ahead and on Apple or Spotify. We appreciate all the people that are listening. I want to take this opportunity and point out one very special individual in Frankfurt, Germany, who has listened to every episode of this podcast. I don't know who he or she may be, but if you are listening, man, we appreciate it, man. Really, man, yeah, we salute you. Really, I really love that. If you could make yourself known, man, it'd be great. I'd love to interact with you a little bit. If you can just like follow us on Instagram, maybe, and send us a direct message and just identify yourself, man. Or maybe we'll send you some merch or something. Just for the continued support from episode 1. You know what I mean? So do that, man. Identify yourself.
Show yourself.
Yeah, reveal yourself. But like I said, if you're listening, go ahead and rate and review the show. Once again, just like on the YouTube side, it helps to push our episodes further out. So do that. Also, if you want to show some monetary support, people have asked us how to do that, and we appreciate all those who have done so thus far. There's a link in the bio where you can buy us a coffee. You know what I mean? Everybody like coffee, apparently. And just for $2, you can support this platform and help us continue to build out things that we have desire to do. We have a long list of accomplishments that we want, or add things that we want to add to the production and information, add to our team. To make this the best platform possible and helping humanity just to stay human. That is the objective. And so click the link and give whatever your heart's content to do. Like I said, maybe we can buy one for Clara as well, because she likes coffee a whole lot, apparently. You wouldn't tell by her teeth, but you know what I'm saying? She like that coffee though. Wasted enough time. Let's jump into this thing. Today, we want to talk about selfishness. And boy, oh boy, is that a topic, right? I think that the world has been infected with the virus of self-centeredness. And it is fine, and it's having its effect, is running rampant. And it's something that we really want to address here on this platform. 3 points we want to give to you, and then the show will be yours. The first point, and I think that is really important. We actually did a live. Man, it might have been about a month ago.
Yeah, I think it was.
We were talking about this topic about like just how self-centeredness affects a person's life, right? And one of the points you brought out, you were talking about how it's important to have self-care. And I'll say, okay, well, we'll start there. There is a difference between selfishness and self-care. A lot of times people are getting advice, about, if a situation doesn't feel right to you, or, things, you got to look out for yourself and da 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 da. And like, there is a fine line between, that advice being helpful and that advice being destructive.
Detrimental, yeah.
You know what I mean? Harmful, And so I think the line is drawn between the difference between self-care and selfishness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So self-care is basically taking the time to consider, and having a healthy relationship with oneself, and consider your needs. Like, that's important, right? You have, because you live in a world where you have a lot of different influences. You have a lot of different desires imposed upon you by different people, whether they love you or not. You know what I mean? And sometimes in your life, you have to take the time to just focus on yourself. We talked about that. Matter of fact, last week we talked about purpose, and that was one of the things that you have to do, like get to know yourself, right? So caring about yourself enough to be mindful of like how you're feeling, how you're doing, your mental space, like all those things are important, right? That's self-care. Everybody needs to have self-care. Selfishness, on the other hand, is when you are overly obsessed with the pursuit of your own pleasure. You know what I mean? Even if it comes at the detriment of another. That's selfishness, where you just want to make sure you feel good. You don't consider other people. You don't consider the people around you, how you're actually going to affect other people. You only are concerned about making sure that you are good, making sure that you feel good. That's selfishness. You know what I'm saying? The lines can be kind of close sometimes, but you got to always be thinking about, I think the defining, one of the things that really help you stay on the right side of that is your intentions. If your intentions are pure, then you'll always find, you'll find yourself getting close to the line of being selfish, and you'll be able to identify that. Like, yo, man, I'm tripping. Like, I got to think about, like, who else is this going to affect? How will it affect them? That will be on your mind if your intentions are good. If your intentions aren't good, then you won't care. You won't even think about how this is going to affect the people that care about me. You're going to just think about how I want to feel, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, your desires, that's it.
Correct. And so, like, like I said, self-care, selfishness. You want to add anything on that, lady?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because I forgot who I was talking to about this, but there was like a little point where someone had made a comment, and they said, they're like, when the person that hurt you or like they did you wrong is offended with the fact that you're still hurt about it or something like that. And this girl was pretty much talking about how people, like, in their head when they're processing, like, let's say you and me are friends, right? And we get into an argument or altercation. I don't like how you made me feel. And I'm so focused on me not liking how you made me feel that I don't even want to like pursue it any further, and I just move on with my life. But it's unresolved and it's not taken care of. And then that friendship dies. Whereas a person who's like, okay, they have a balance, they're going to think, maybe I came off wrong. Maybe I was disrespectful. Maybe I could have communicated this differently. Whereas a person who is selfish is be like, no, you hurt my feelings. I'm going to move forward. I don't care. It's so all that to say that I think that that's something that like people don't really take the time to reflect on, like they don't take the time to say, like maybe I was wrong. Like they're so focused on their feeling and their emotions and whether or not it bothered them or if it's beneficial to them, that they don't care about anything else. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because you kind of miss an opportunity to grow. For one, you miss an opportunity to even listen to the other person or the other individual, or even the situation. It may even just be a situation that you may not like maybe at work, but you could be completely wrong. But because you're focused on, oh, this doesn't feel right, then you're caught in that moment and you're unable to see. You're blind to the truth. So I think that happens all the time, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
You know what I mean? Brings us to our second point, right? We'll kind of hover here for a second. And that is that selfishness is a cancer. You know what I mean? Like, and cancer, if you understand, like it's evasive in your body. It evades your cells, and then it corrupts them and it destroys them from the inside out. That's what it does. And then it spreads and it just eats away at your healthy cells. That's what cancer does. And like selfishness does that to your life. Like it evades your life, and then it corrupts and destroys everything. You see what I'm saying? And like that's one of the main problems we have in our society as a whole. Like overall, is that this massive push for for people to be self-centered. And I think that ultimately the social media is the primary carrier of the virus.
100%. Because it's all about you.
Man.
Selfies is all about you. It's all about your successes. It's all about what, oh, life's going great, picture. Oh, you know, I'm flexing my new car. I'm flexing a new bag. It's all about you. Yeah. So that's inevitable. And like you said, it spreads, you know, throughout your life.
It's crazy, like you said, like people are watching on their screen. You know what I mean? They're scrolling through TikTok, and like they're seeing, everybody is vying for attention. We've talked about this multiple times. Everybody's vying for attention, right? And like that is the singular message that's coming out. Well, I won't say singular. There are other people that talk about good things. I'm not gonna say it's all bad, but like, but that is the idea. Is everything, like all the content. This is the issue. All the content that you consume is like coming to you exclusively. You see what I'm saying? As you consume it, right? So if you watch a video of somebody saying, hey, you know, hey, stop scrolling. What you need to do is da-da-da. When they say you and you watching, you think they're talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Or you specifically. You know what I mean? You're not thinking that they're talking to everybody, because you consume the content as an individual, not as a group. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so everything becomes about you. As you watch that, you think about how it makes you feel. And I'm not saying like that's a problem, right?
I'm sorry. It just kind of reminded me. So my little sister would watch Dora.
Yes.
And Dora would be like, where is the star or whatever? And she'd be like pointing at it. And she really thought like Dora was listening to her. So I'm sorry. That just played in my head how, you know, as an audience, you're so encapsulated by whatever it is that you're drawn in, whether it's a video, whether it's a podcast, whatever it may be, like you're so drawn into it, you think that it is you, and it's not just you. It's not that it isn't you, but it's not just you, you know? Correct.
You know what I mean? And excellent analogy. You know what I'm saying? Good job, young sister. I love the sister. You know what I'm saying? You help the podcast. You're a contributor. But like, like I said, I'm not trying to be like have a straw man as far as like making an argument. But the point that I'm making is that the way that the content is consumed, and the reality is that there is a lot of trauma. There is a lot of trauma motivated content out there. A lot of content that is made out of trauma.
Wow, that is true.
And that trauma is being poured into this content.
Yeah.
And people that are on the receiving end also have trauma, and they're receiving it from a traumatic point of view, right?
Yeah.
And so then it's like, like I said, you hear these messages like, hey girl, you know, if it don't feel right, then you need to leave that relationship because it ain't good. You know, if your parents don't understand, then you need to just cut them off. And like that's the idea. Somebody went through something, they get in front of their phone and they start like pouring out this negativity. You know what I'm saying? And like, because people don't understand, and like, but the people that are receiving it aren't coming from the same place that you are, right? But then it's this constant idea of like I need to worry about me, and then you're watching content of people getting taken advantage of, pranks, people getting beat up, whatever, all this kind of like aggressive content. And then you automatically think to yourself, you start clutching your pearls and be like, I gotta protect myself. Like I gotta, you know, because you start, it plays into your fear, you know what I'm saying? And your anxiety. Like, so you start trying to think about like, I gotta look out for myself. I gotta do this for myself. And everything starts to become about you. Like that. And like, that is like social media, man. Like that is a lot of what social media is. Not everything. Yeah. There are some people that have good content out there.
But if you're consuming it chronically, like scroll.
But that is a continual, there's a continual stream of that content.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And it may not be intentional. I don't think it's always intentional, but that's what's happening. People are consuming this content, and it's constantly putting more and more focus on me.
Yeah.
Instead of me understanding that, and this is a fact that will never change, and that you will always be connected to other people. You know what I mean? One of our most like popular posts on Instagram, you know, until we talk about
loneliness.
Human beings need other human beings.
Yeah.
You see my face today. Human beings need other human beings.
And it's so funny seeing how everybody felt about that.
Yes. You know what I mean? It has like, you know, it's hundreds of comments on there of people expressing that same, you know what I mean, that same sentiment, because it's talking about why are we so lonely? And everybody's like, people don't like people. They don't trust people. People hurt. And it's like, and you're seeing this, and like people are reading these comments and they're internalizing this stuff. And it, like I say, it's like an infection that's spreading, you know what I mean? And it's such a terrible and dangerous thing, because the reality is that selfishness or being self-centered, it like I said, like cancer, it destroys everything good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it leaves you like broken, unsatisfied, lonely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I feel like in the attempt of people, it's crazy, but in the attempt of people to like, I think what they're trying to do is self-preservation, but they get lost in selfishness, because I don't think people like, they come from a bad place when they're like, oh, people suck. Well, no, it's because you've been hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, people are terrible. You know, it's hard to even talk to anyone nowadays. Like, oh, they're all dumb or all this. I don't think that when a person says that, they mean it to be cruel or evil, or not at all. It's just they had bad experiences with people, and so this is why they feel that way. Yeah. I mean, 1 + 1 is 2, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, this is not all that there is. There's so much more. But if you source yourself in trauma, then I'm sorry, but all you will bring forward is more trauma.
You've ever heard the term hurt people hurt people? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're coming from, like you said, if you're sourcing this stuff, you're coming from an unhealthy place, you're going to continue to be a carrier of the disease. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna go out and cause pain to other people.
Yeah, and you might not even be aware of it.
You most of the time you're not, but that's why it's an infection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, like you see on movies, cartoons, whatever, like you see like an infection and like a virus on a computer just starts spreading.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Multiplying. Like, that's what's happening in our society. Like, people, but the reality is that like all of us have hurt someone before. You know what I mean? You've been on the receiving end, and you've also been on the giving end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've made mistakes. You made bad decisions. You said the wrong thing, something you shouldn't have said. You did something you shouldn't have done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't show up when you were supposed to. Mm-hmm. Like, you weren't there for a person. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has done something, but that don't mean that everybody's bad.
Yes.
And then people can learn and change. Like, people can, like, so, man, I learned from that. I could be better. You know, but if it's just this constant, like, negativity train that just keeps going around, like everybody, and then everybody's always say, well, I gotta worry about me. Yeah. The reality is that at the end of the road of selfishness is loneliness. And like, and with loneliness comes a whole world of trouble. We talked about this, right? Like, we talked about, you know, in the judicial system, you know, people commit a crime and they're tried and they go to prison, right? Mm-hmm. So like, people that are already being punished go to prison. But then what happens to the people that are in prison? How are they punished? You know what I'm saying? The people that do bad in prison when they're already in punishment, how are they punished? Solitary confinement. And there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Listen, because human beings are not designed to be alone. Yeah. They are not designed to be solitary creatures. They are designed to be communal, like to have connection, like, and we are connected. If you have a bad day and you go out, like, people, listen, I'm gonna drop it like this, and everybody gonna be able to understand this. Okay. Somebody have a bad day, they get behind the wheel of their vehicle, they drive, and they're all aggressive, and they drive, they screaming, pointing up fingers in the sky, and all this kind of stuff, right? And then somebody else riding down the street next to them, they're like, man, what's wrong with that guy? And next thing you know, that now they've just affected the next person driving. And they're like, man, now they go to work, Now the next person go to work, they're upset because the other person cut them off or point the finger at them. They got into it, and now they all aggressive at work. Now they have attitude, and then they come to work, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're not focused. They're upset, and they disrupt the office. Now everybody else is tripping.
Stressed.
You know what I'm saying? Like that happens all the time, every day, and like social media is adding to that. Like it ain't just contained in like pockets anymore. Now that same effect is happening like. Is spreading throughout the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
At once.
Exactly.
At once on multiple levels.
Yes. And so now people are like, and so like, and in response to that, people start to think about me. I think about like how I feel. And I ain't thinking about how my actions are affecting other people. Just like the person driving behind the wheel. You got up late, you driving, you had, you tripped over something and you hit your toe, you upset. You know what I'm saying? Your alarm didn't go off, you mad. Now you driving crazy. You ain't thinking about, I'm trying to get to work. You ain't thinking about the next person next to you and how your erratic behavior.
Nor do you care. You're just going.
And that is selfishness. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I say it's infectious. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I see people, I work at the airport, right? And I see people come through, especially a lot of my pre-check people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they come through and like it's the smallest thing, you know what I mean? Like the smallest little inconvenience, and it just like set them off. You know what I mean? Like ruin their day. And I sit back and I think to myself, you know what I mean? And I'm like, there's no way that person can be happy in life. You know what I mean? Like you can't be happy like that. You can't have peace in your life where every little small thing that happens, every little inconvenience that happens in your life, like just throw you into a tizzy, like to a tailspin. I feel sorry for people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really a lot of people, and it's really like, in all honesty, people love to be rich, but it's really the people that are rich that have that problem the most because their resources give them the ability to get most of the things that they want in their lives. So then anytime they're faced with a problem that doesn't go their way, like a spoiled child, they throw themselves on the ground and like, you have a fit, like you're unhappy, like you were just, your life is over. And it's crazy because you have so much, right? As a like a spoiled child, you have so many toys, so many clothes, like you have all these things, but it's that one thing that you didn't have that just ruins your whole life. And that's a sad way to live. People say, man, you need to whip that tail. I agree. You need to touch them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Reach out and touch someone's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
I like that.
that ain't mine. That's Diana Ross. But I watch and I really be sad about it. I'm like, man, like you can't be happy like that. But that's the problem with a person being self-centered, right? Like you can't find peace like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't want to live like that, man, because it destroys everything in your life, and it brings us to our last point, right? That like selfishness is a thief. And it robbed you, man. Like, man, it robbed you. And I have a family member, you know what I mean? That like I love them a lot. You know what I'm saying? And because they, because they're so focused on how they feel, you know what I mean? And they had gotten themselves involved with things that like has like pushed them, alienated them from their family, right? And man, like everything in me, like I want to love them, you know what I'm saying? And like, but I can't, you know what I'm saying? Because selfishness has destroyed our relationship, and that person can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
they can't see it, and I can see it. I can see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I can see how, you know what I mean? Like, and I always say, like, man, like it not only robs you, but then it robs the people that love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like,
you'll have like
man,
a beautiful relation. Well, the potential of a beautiful relationship, but because you're so blind to it, because you're so focused on you, it's like a that tunnel vision. It's just you, your desires, your wants, your needs, and you're not seeing who you're hurting.
Yeah.
And it robs you of something potentially beautiful.
Yeah.
It robs you of like a trusting relationship. It robs you of happiness. I completely understand what you're saying. And I think it's sad because selfishness is the result of, I think, in a lot of ways, fear.
Yeah.
You know, you've said that before. We've talked about it before. And if we're not careful, if you don't take that time to think to yourself, okay, yeah, I am afraid of these things. I do struggle with this. If you don't allow that in your life, you could lose so much. And then it might be to the point where it'll be too late.
Yeah.
It'll be too late to save it.
Yeah.
It'll be too late because there are people who will live their whole lives that way. And it's unfortunate because, you know, that point that you mentioned with solitary confinement, right? I never thought about it that way until you told me. And it's crazy to wrap your head around. But to think that people are intentionally doing this to themselves, though the reason for it is not to punish yourself. The reason for it is because you don't want to deal with other people. You're protecting yourself. You're creating a barrier. But you are hurting yourself. Yeah. You are hurting yourself. You're holding on so tight to this, not aware that what you're actually doing is poisoning yourself. Yeah. So I think that that's something that it requires you to really put your guard down. It requires you to take the second to be a little vulnerable, even if it's just with you. But I think that it can make you kind of blind. It can make you blind to who you have in front of you. Those relationships that actually love you, that actually care about you, that actually want you to do well. Not just a little friend that's like, oh, you know, just trying to talk to you every now and then or party or even join you in these little wild endeavors that you're doing. It's like a person that genuinely loves you and genuinely wants you to do well. And it's tough. It is very tough.
It is. You know, like I said, like you hit the nail on the head, right? Like it robs you of everything good in your life. Any healthy relationship, selfishness will kill it. Whether it's romantic or whether it's just
like family or friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any good and healthy relationship in your life, like selfishness will kill it. If you have a relationship with somebody that's using you, then it don't matter. It doesn't affect that because they only dare to use you for what they're using you for.
Yeah, they're also being selfish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if they really care about you, and if you only make decisions that affect you and you don't care about how it affects other people, eventually it will destroy that relationship. You said earlier, like you can't. It will rob you of happiness. You cannot be happy or have joy in your life when you're selfish, because the more and more you focus only on what makes you happy, like eventually in life, it's you can count it, but 10 times out of 10, you're going to have something in your life that you can't control that's not going to make you happy. And when that happens, it destroys everything else. Like it's going to like I said, like I mentioned, the person like coming through, you alarm the machine. You have like, it was a woman, she had a necklace on. She came to the machine and it beat, wait, you got to go back out. Take off the necklace. And she's like, it's just a necklace. And like she had a major attitude about this necklace that all she had, and she just took it off. She had to like go back and undo it. It would just take it over your head. But it was just that small thing. Like she was like, she griped for like, I saw her watch griped it for like that for like 10 minutes, like just like pacing, just upset about a necklace. It took you 0.5 seconds to take it off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it was just the fact that the inconvenience. I don't want that.
Yeah.
It completely ruined your day. And that's like, and if something so small can like just throw you in a tizzy, like there's no way that you can maintain a joyful life like that.
100%. I also think, I'm sorry, but to add, because at the end of the day, like this is life. You don't have control over a lot. You might think you do in this little bubble of yours for the moment, but life will wake you up and it will remind you that you do not have control. Yeah. And what will get you through those moments are the people that love you, are the people that care about you, whether it is your family or your friends or whoever, a mentor. The people who love you will get you through it. But if you're so focused on you will push people like that away. life will remind you don't have control. And then who do you have to run to?
Tough.
It's just going to be a bubble of, it's just going to grow. It's going to grow and grow and grow. And that negativity doesn't go away. Yeah.
Infection. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and here's a crazy thing. We're going to wrap this thing up. While you're being selfish, you want other people to care about you. You want other people to consider you. You're upset when they're not mindful of how what they're doing is making you feel. But have you ever considered that you're not caring about how other people are feeling? And that's how the infection is spread. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it leads to loneliness, which leads to a slew of both physical and mental health issues.
Yeah.
Like selfishness and loneliness, like it literally can make you sick.
Yeah.
It affects your immune system, the way your body functions. It affects your mind. It affects so many things. That is the problem with loneliness, and that's why we're facing a loneliness epidemic in the world, and so many people are having a hard time coping. And so I would say anybody that's finding themselves, if this stuff sounds familiar to you, like I would think you should start with that. Start with, man, am I being selfish? Do I consider other people? Do I think about how my actions affect other people? I need to start thinking about, when I make a decision, I need to think about how my decisions will affect someone else instead of just thinking about how it's going to affect me. That's a show for today. Thank you for tuning in. We want to encourage you to stay safe, stay blessed, and please, please stay human. We out.